Hello and welcome to the LilithAstrology.com weekly live stream. I'm Adam Masise, your astrologer and author of the new Black Moon Lilith Rising and a Black Moon Lilith Cosmic Alchemy Oracle right behind me. I strategically placed them above my head. And this week we are really excited here at Lilith HQ because my book and oracle deck are launching. I can't even describe the feeling that I feel. It's going to be on Tuesday. So Tuesday, quite literally, you can purchase it and it will ship on Tuesday. And if you ordered any pre-sales, it's going to ship on Tuesday as well. And I also want to preface, because you're going to notice that I'm not answering anyone's comments. Typically, I love to in these live streams, but I am pre-recording it this week. Monday is a bit of a busy day for me, as well as on Tuesday, of course, because we have the upcoming launch. So I'm going to get to the week's astrology and also pull some cards and talk about each of the zodiac signs and what they can expect for this upcoming week. And I do have a couple of announcements before we get into that. So I am also extremely thrilled because recently I launched my new text tribe. So you can text Lilith to 877-624-9350. And it's US and Canada only right now. Sorry to everyone else. I've had a few people reach out in other countries to ask about joining, and the service that I have only has it for US and Canada. And as soon as we have more country options, I will definitely share with all of you. And it's a toll-free number, but the thing is that there are some carrier fees on your end, depending on the service that you have. If you have unlimited texting, you don't have to worry about it. But I highly advise everyone to just check your SMS fees so that you're not surprised with anything because you subscribed. And this is basically going to be a great way for us to stay in touch. I also will be alerting all text members when we have just new workshops, new content comes out on social media. We're going to have, I actually just did a full moon announcement and did a little intuitive message and sent it to everyone in the text tribe. And there's just a lot more fun stuff. So this is a great way to keep in touch with me. Also, the algorithms are not great on all social media networks. So if you really love LilithAstrology.com, definitely subscribe to this new text line. And you can also subscribe to email as well if you are in a different country besides US and Canada. I know I have a good number of international clients, and email is a great way to stay in touch as well. So definitely subscribe to my email list, and that is on LilithAstrology.com. You can click on the links all down below. And also, I want to make sure you all know that the webinar, so I am premiering a webinar on launch day on LilithAstrology.com. And this is for people who have purchased both the book and the oracle card deck. So if you have already purchased it and you've not signed up for this webinar, definitely head to the links down in the description box and click on that, and you can go through, enter your receipt numbers and confirmation, and be entered in to receive that workshop. And this is a workshop that is a great mate to the book and the deck. It's basically a way for me to talk about how to use the cards, how to tap into the book. We go over what alchemy is. We go over a little bit of Black Moon Lilith. We go over frequency. We go over self-empowerment. There's a lot in this workshop. It's about an hour long. And if you have already signed up, it's going to premiere on Wednesday. So you will be able to start watching it then. So make sure all of you go sign up for this free workshop if you purchase the book and the deck. If you have not purchased the book and the deck yet, pre-order it. It's going to ship on the 3rd, and then you can enter to also watch this awesome new webinar. So I also want to announce that I am doing readings as well. So my sessions are available for October. I've opened my calendar for then, and you can book all of those down below on my calendar. And I have 15-minute sessions, 30-minute sessions, 45-minute sessions, and 60. And the 15-minute sessions are really for if you need help choosing a date for something, if you have a quick question, if you've gotten readings with me in the past and you kind of just want like a mini update, nothing too long, that is a great option for you as well too. But if you've never gotten a chart reading and you really want to dive deep with me, an hour is really good. So check out those readings, and that's on lilithastrology.com. Link is also down below. And one more thing also, I've been slowly relaunching Black Moon Lilith Collective. And I want Black Moon Lilith Collective. This used to be my private memberships, and I actually have segued to them being more of a content offering that is free on lilithastrology.com. So I've been launching weekly horoscopes in tandem with this live stream. So you can check all of that content down below in the description box. And there's going to be a lot of great content coming up. I've got a lot of great plans for evergreen content, which means like all the Astrology 101 you can want, all the Lilith 101 you can want. We're going to have contributors. And I would say that's probably going to be rolled out over the next 3 to 6 months. To stay in the loop of all of the new content coming out on Black Moon Lilith Collective, definitely subscribe to the text line because I will be announcing whenever we have new posts. So check that out down in the description box below. And now let's get into today's live stream. So this week in the stars, we have some pretty major events. So as the week begins on Monday, the 2nd, Mercury in Virgo is going to form an opposition with Neptune in Pisces. And this type of connection is all about reveals. So Mercury is the planet of communication, right? And it's in its home sign of Virgo, and now it is officially direct. We are out of the shadow period, which ended on the 29th, which we talked a lot about last week. So check out that live stream if you just want some retro, concepts on that. And Mercury in Virgo is all about the truth, analysis, and organization, practicality, writing, methodology, and it being in opposition to Neptune, which is actually retrograde right now. And Neptune retrograde reveals the truth. So this is really an aspect where a lot of you now are going to have some truth reveals. A lot of you are going to have some clarity also coming out of the intense Mercury retrograde that we were under for the past few weeks. A lot of you are really going to be more discerning about what you're keeping in your life, what you have to let go. And some of you may even find out some things about work and creativity that are not going to be the most comfortable, and you're going to have to release some things. But this aspect is really bringing that to the forefront. So get ready. I'm not saying there's going to be like work drama. Virgo also rules over work, and it depends on where in your chart, which we're going to go over. But this is really all about truth bombs and really getting down to the nitty gritty of what you want and who you want and what certain things are in your life. So we're going to start the week off on a truthful note, which is honestly, I think that's great. I'm actually looking forward to this aspect as the week begins. So the next day is actually an extremely important day. And I've been thinking about dedicating a podcast episode to this, of course, because this is lilithastrology.com. But Black Moon Lilith is moving into Virgo. So that is happening on Tuesday, the 3rd, the day of my book launch, which is interesting because that's my 3rd house of writing. But anyway, so basically this is the mean Black Moon Lilith also. So the mean Black Moon Lilith basically takes about 9 months in one zodiac sign, and it takes about 9 years to move through the entire zodiac. So we're going to experience Black Moon Lilith in Virgo for about 9 months. And Black Moon Lilith in Virgo natally, so when we look at it in the birth chart, it can really bring up shadows and power struggles around perfection, around over analysis, around too much attention to detail. If you have this in your chart natally, this is your Black Moon Lilith return. And this is a concept actually that I go over in a lot of detail in Black Moon Lilith Rising, FYI. So, you want to pick up this book. But basically, this is when Black Moon Lilith returns to the sign and the place it was when you were born. So, and this happens every 9 years. It's an intense transit. I just went through it, and it really was. And it not only was my project being to Lilith, because it was in Leo, that's what we've experienced this past year. But a lot of us had to do the shadow work around our shine, around how we express ourselves, around our creativity. There was rebellion in creativity with the Hollywood strikes. We've got the writer's strikes, and that writer's strike, at least now they're reaching equilibrium, but a lot of creatives have been reclaiming their power this year on a collective level when we look at Black Moon Lilith in Leo. But now that is moving into an earth sign, in the sign of Virgo. A lot of us, especially if you have Black Moon Lilith in your chart, it's going to bring up those themes around hyper-perfectionism. It's also going to bring up ways in which we have really picked ourselves apart because of how other people treated us, or the way that we compare ourselves to other people because of receiving that from other people. So a big example, actually. So we got to talk for a little bit about celeb stuff on Black Moon Lilith and Virgo, and I don't care if you all are mad about it, because I have to talk about Kourtney Kardashian and the tea that's going on there, because she is a natal Black Moon, and when I say natal, that means birth chart. When someone has something natally, that means that it's in their birth chart. But she has this in her natal chart, so she is going through her Black Moon Lilith return. Okay, so let me share my screen for all of you guys. You can see her chart. All right. Oops. Sometimes StreamYard's a little challenging here. Here we go. All right, Kourtney Kardashian. Okay, so the reason why also, because I mention a lot of different notable people in my work, the reason why we look at that, it's not just to goss, but I am a Mars in Libra, so I love goss. Not gonna lie, I love celeb goss. But I look at famous people's charts because their lives are so public, and they can really tell us like what happens in certain transits, and we can really make a good analysis because we can see how it's playing out in their everyday waking life, at least on a global national level. But so this is the symbol Black Moon Lilith, as I'm sure you all know. Quite literally, she has Black Moon Lilith in her relationship house, and it's forming a connection with Saturn, the restrictor. And she's got the North Node here as well. So this is all going on in her relationship house. And Black Moon Lilith in Virgo in the relationship house can represent just like receiving hyper critique from your partner, from deep relationships in your life. There's always power struggles. So when we just think about Kourtney's relationship life, let's just think about, she was with Scott Disick. He couldn't get it together. I don't even think not that, if commitment, I'm sure, was like a huge issue for her. He couldn't commit, and she couldn't commit to him because he had a lot of just issues. And she was really basically a single mother and bearing a lot of the responsibility of her children. She's got a lot of kids. And basically it can create a lot of power struggles in the relationship. She dealt with like his alcoholism and just he couldn't grow up. So she had to step up and be the adult. and really take the reins in that relationship. So let's just think back to that. But then now when we think she's married now to Travis Barker, the drummer from Blink-182, and basically, of course, I want to pull up their pics. I've learned my lesson with playing video because, yeah. Oh, wow. Oh, I didn't even see this. So after, wow. Okay. Let me just back up for a second. I love how I'm like finding new things out about this as I'm now looking for photos of them. But now let's just talk quickly about Trav and Courtney. So here we go. So that's Trav and Courtney for anyone that doesn't know, but I'm sure you know. So he's the drummer from Blink-182. If you're a millennial, you know who Blink-182 is. I actually really love their music growing up. Met a girl at the rock show. Oh yes, um, I'm like I shop for a lot of books and spiritual stuff, obviously. And then Courtney Kardashian was on the Kardashian show. She is a reality TV star, and they got married. But the issue that is going on right now, though, is right now she is having a lot of drama with her sister, Kim. Excuse me, Courtney's having a lot of drama with her sister Kim, and there is a big history of Kim and Travis. So let's back up. All right. So now let's pop to this article. I love to have receipts. I don't want to just like talk and it's not in an article, right? Like we shouldn't. I'm like, clearly I'm dreaming of Missoni, you guys. I love the ads on articles sometimes. It's just like forcing they really want you to buy shit. So basically they had a fiery fight on a recent episode and basically so Kim, let's just go back in history a little bit. So Kim was actually in one of Travis's in his memoir, and he's always had the biggest crush on Kim. Literally, he wrote in his memoir how much he was attracted to Kim. He would visit her at work at Dash when they had the boutique. He really loved Kim. And obviously, Kim married Kanye. She's divorced now. But basically, there is a history there. But now, Travis is with her sister. But they had this blowout fight. And I'm not going to share it because of copyright strikes and all of that. But basically, the fight was Kim was really mean and was just completely unfair to Courtney. But Courtney didn't invite her sisters to her baby shower that she recently had. And basically, Courtney was vilified by Kim. And Courtney accused Kim of just upstaging her wedding day and not taking it seriously. And Kim lashed out at her. But this is quite literally Black Moon Lilith in the 7th house. So the whole background of this is literally Courtney's husband basically likes her sister. And she's having to deal with that. And it's challenging. So another thing as well too, it's like, so I literally did not know this. And of course, this is Hello Magazine, so yeah, nothing wrong with Hello Magazine, but um, I had a health scare. Virgo rules over health as well. So Black Moon Lilith is moving into the health of her partner and her partner's well-being. When a planet or point moves into your seventh house, the things that can manifest in your life have to do with what your partner is going through as well too. So yeah, so basically she had to have an emergency fetal surgery, and he also went through terrible health. So he went through COVID. I don't even know what this is. Doesn't look good though. Dental surgery. Um, and she also underwent fetal surgery as well too. So on top of this is the shower that her sisters weren't invited to because of all the drama and the arguing and power struggles around it. Basically, she's probably feeling insecure and pissed that her now husband used to chase after her sister. So yeah, and here's like video of it's really cute. But now Black Moon Lilith is going that area of her life. Literally, he had to rush home, and she and the baby had to go through emergency surgery. They saved the baby's life, which is great. So that's really difficult. But she is now going to be dealing with these power struggles and these themes for the next 9 months. I mean, she's definitely due soon, but she's going to be going through these things over the next 9 months. And this is all going to be in the area of her relationship. It's going to create power struggles and conflict and challenges. So just a segue now back to the transit of Black Moon Lilith and Virgo that we are now beginning. But now, if you have Black Moon Lilith and Virgo, that's something to really note. If you have that, come get a reading and we can go over what your Black Moon Lilith return is going to be like. If you have Virgo placements, Black Moon Lilith is going to come in and trigger certain things there. Like if you have your Virgo sun, or if you have rising, or you have it close to your descendant where your relationships are, like Courtney, or if you have it in your career, you got to take a look at where you have Virgo. And we're going to go over that in the horoscope as well too. But it can bring power struggles in the area of life that Virgo rules. So that's work, health, practicality. This can also be your well-being. Oh my gosh, another Black Moon Lilith return is oh my gosh, what is her name? I'm totally like blanking right now. Right now. Oh my gosh. Zoe Kravitz. That's another one. So I'm not one to like um comment on if people want to get plastic surgery and like do it, like that's your right. That's your right. Like if it'll empower you and make things better and all of that stuff. But so let's go to, and now I'm even seeing, yeah, there's just tons of articles from the past that are even about this as well too. But basically it's on the internet. People are really like criticizing her or championing. It just depends on what side of the coin you're on. But her recent appearance, she looked like she had more fat removal. Like there's nothing to remove, but looked like there was more done to her face. And then there's rumors that her partner Channing Tatum made her do it, and it's pretty awful. But when we look at her natal chart, she has Black Moon Lilith in Virgo. So, and the moon, she's also a Virgo moon. And let's pop her chart open for all of you. literally. Black Moon Lilith. And I talk a lot about Black Moon Lilith in my book and what this means. But basically, Black Moon Lilith in Virgo can also bring someone who's really just hyper aware about their appearance. And sometimes they may look to things like plastic surgery to increase their perfection. They feel like they need to overachieve and have over perfection. And it's like, look at her famous family. Like, her mother is stunning, is gorgeous. Her father also as well too, and they are both extremely famous in the creative field. So she, I'm sure, has felt some pressure or some comparison. And so as a result, sometimes that's how it can manifest. But now she's getting some backlash on social media and from the press about getting more plastic surgery. And that can come up during the Black Moon Lilith in Virgo, is just some of the symptoms around it can kind of come up in your present moment. So that's another celebrity that's going to be dealing with their Black Moon Lilith return. And it's even more potent for her because she's got her moon there as well. And her moon's in the 11th house. So this is the public, like, not the public like the 10th house, but this is more the collective. And this is more large groups of people. This is like the audience, right? So this is basically like her persona, and she's got Lilith there. So she feels the need like to be extremely perfect. Excuse me. Another, excuse me, whew, there's some water. Another Black Moon Lilith in Virgo, famous one on the man side, is the late Hugh Hefner. And we all know about the tea. I actually talk about that a little bit in my book, but we all know the tea about how he was hypercritical of his girlfriends, the playmates that lived in the house, and yeah, plastic surgery galore, all of that. I mean, just look at the Empire. It was about achieving perfection and expecting the feminine to be as such. So when it plays out in women, a lot of the time it can be the hypercritique of oneself because of hypercritique from childhood or from the women in your life, like Courtney, or it can be just, or like Zoe as well, or it can be from for you doing it to the feminine if you are a man. So you, or one, like you doing it to women or expecting them to be hyper perfect. I remember I had a client a while back who was a man. I think it was probably like a year ago. Now it's popped in my head. He had Black Moon Lilith in Virgo, and his wife had actually told him, like, you need to get a reading because we're at the end. Like, I can't deal with you anymore. And basically it was like, you need to get a reading and look into your shadow as a man. And basically one of the things we talked about was how he was really hypercritical of women in his life. And no one's perfect. No one is perfect. No one's going to be pure perfection for you. And it's actually abusive and unhealthy to expect that from people. And it's a shadow that's going to keep you from fulfilling relationships. So, all right. So now let's move on a little bit. I think I need to do like a full on like vibe. I think I'm going to do a podcast episode on Black Moon Lilith in Virgo over the next week, and I'll drop that on Black Moon Lilith Rising. I think that's needed because I really want to dive more into it. And this isn't enough. Okay. So the next day on the 4th, Mercury enters into Libra. So Mercury is moving out of Virgo and into the sign of relationships and contracts. So in general, and it's going to join Mars as well. And I actually want to dive into the chart a little bit with you guys. Let's pop into that. So Mercury is going to join the Sun, South Node, and Mars in Libra. Okay. So all of this rumbling beneath the surface, relationships, um, uh, your contracts, your money, your like the creative industries, beauty is also a big part of Libra. This also has to do with like things like codependency. We've got that South Node Mars, conflict as well. This is all going to start getting triggered to the surface now that Mercury is now in the game. And we basically have a stellium in the sign of Libra. And we are also gearing up for that eclipse that's popping off in the middle of October. So now a lot of your mindset and your concern is going to turn towards those Libran areas of life. And some of you may be coming out of this Mercury retrograde, out of delays, and you may have to now make some decisions around certain contracts and collaborations and your love life and the balance between you and other people. That is all now going to really start to be a focus when Mercury enters into Libra. Then we move into Venus, which actually rules over Libra. So Venus is the planet of love, beauty, balance, contracts, justice. And we've experienced that Venus retrograde in Leo all summer long. And we are finally out of the shadow period actually this week as well on the 7th, which is really, really interesting. So Venus will enter into Virgo on the 8th. And that's really going to round out the week and really initiate that vibe of rebellion in those areas of your life. And the reason why I say that is because Venus is going to join Black Moon Lilith. So Venus has been with Black Moon Lilith during that retrograde. That was a really rare retrograde moment this summer to have Venus and Black Moon Lilith in Leo while Venus is retrograde. But now Venus is fully direct and is now going to be with Black Moon Lilith for a little bit this month. And a lot of you are really now going to start to be, let's now make decisions and use discernment based off of the information and what we have learned this past summer. And Virgo is also where Venus doesn't feel too comfortable. So Venus is in its stability in the sign of Virgo. And Venus starts to get really, really discerning. And Venus is not typically discerning, right? When we think of Venus, Venus is all about sparkle, shine, love, romance, beauty, indulgence. And when it's in Virgo, it it basically flattens Venus out and makes Venus extremely serious, right? So it's time to get serious about love. It's time to get serious about your discernment and what you want. And a lot of you are going to be walking away from things and releasing things with that connection with Black Moon Lilith that are just not serving you and that are not equal and that are not aligned, right? So that's going to start on October 8th after we exit out of this long ass Venus retrograde. So we're not going to have that for, again, in our lifetimes, honestly, thank goodness. But this Venus retrograde taught a lot of us about our relationships. And now as we come out of it, it's time to now make moves based on that intel. And then that same day on the 8th, Mars in Libra will also form a square to Pluto in Capricorn. So that is what is also telling me about everyone needing to just move on, move forward, make some changes, is Mars the planet of action. And it's in the sign of relationships as well. And it's forming a harsh connection with Pluto, the transformer in Capricorn. This is all about transforming old structures, old dynamics, and making moves. So that's also telling me that this is going to be a day of change surrounding the structure of our relationships. All right, so now let's get into the forecast for each of the zodiac signs. All right, so Aries, this week is going to be all about you needing to be organized and using critical thinking with that Mercury in Virgo, Venus in Virgo happening towards the end of the week. You're really going to want to dive deep into your work. You're really going to want to dive deep into the structure of it, how it's progressing, and you're really going to have to use attention to detail. Another thing as well is through that exercise, some of you may realize colleagues or certain people involved in your work are just no longer in alignment, and you may have to have some real conversations. There might be some heated discussions in this area of your life, and there may also be heated discussions in the areas of your significant relationships, love relationships as well too. So it's a big business relationship, love relationship week, and it's best for you to really stay diplomatic, balance the scales, and also think about what is right for you, what is right for others, and balance between the two. It's all about what truly aligns with you. And for you, I'm going to tap into, for everyone actually, I'm going to tap into the Black Moon Lilith Cosmic Alchemy Oracle because it's literally launching tomorrow. So let's get into the intuitive read. What have we got for Aries this week? Interesting. So Aries, I pulled Black Moon Lilith in Libra. So there's a lot of relationship shit going on here. And if you just take a look at the card, you can see this woman here. She's just like hyper fixated on her appearance. And the man here is literally like, you've got to look a certain way to be with me. Like, you know, you got to exude something to be with me. You know who's actually a natal Black and Lilith in Libra, as along with Libra Sun, is Kim Kardashian as well. So now it's time for you all to really balance the scales and to really take a look at where in your relationships are you allowing others to hyperfixate on your appearance and how you look. Are you really getting down to the depth? Are certain things really serving you? And this Black Moon Lilith in Libra card is really encouraging you to take a look at that. So, and also you can see as well too, it's like the man is really kind of deflecting his own responsibility in the situation. It's like this is all about her and what she's doing, but it's like also like you need to look in the mirror as well too, you know? So I'm actually going to read from the interpretations for you all because I love them. I worked really hard on them. So you deserve balance. Relationships are a delicate balance, and Black Moon Lilith in Libra indicates that resolution starts within you. You may currently be experiencing power struggles with others, and it's up to you to change if you want to break the cycle. Black Moon Lilith in Libra can create feminine shadow around relationships, balance, love, and beauty. Venus is the planetary ruler of Libra and invokes the energy of the fertility goddess of ancient Rome. Symbolized by the scales, Libra represents the balance, duality, and dynamics in relationships. When Black Moon Lilith is in the sign of Libra, your relationships can feel karmic and discord can ensue. Singer Whitney Houston had Black Moon Lilith in Libra in her 8th house of death and addiction, and this manifested through her tumultuous marriage with Bobby Brown. Codependency or unequal relationships create inner tension, leaving you feeling unworthy. You may be hyper aware of your physical appearance as well. Feeling the drive to fight for justice and equality in the world can also be a desire for you all this week. Do not allow others to dominate you. Instead, aim for them to complement and balance you. Make decisions from this empowered space. So that's your read for the week, Aries. Got a lot going on in Libra right now in your relationship sector. Business, love, it's all the dynamic of me versus we. And that is what is on deck for you this week. So for my Taurus, this week, work, your routine, your creativity, and some of you Taurus placements may be traveling. So this week, you may experience some themes of unresolved emotions. Some of you may also start to experience an increase in your workload, and this could prompt you to really want to organize yourself better. And then some of you could be going through some drama in the workplace. So some of you could be experiencing some difficulty with a colleague, or you may feel the need to defend yourself, or you may realize someone secretly wasn't on your side in the workplace. So it's really it's really aware to be careful of those who don't have your best interest at mind at work. Just to be aware of like hidden enemies is another big one. And travel also, you got Pluto finishing up in your ninth house. And not only just travel, some of you Taurus could also be transforming your spirituality. And some of you may be leaving a position or a job that is just not right for you so that you can do something like tarot or become a spiritual teacher or become a professor or help the collective in different ways than just what you're doing now. So let's get into your cards. What is in store for Taurus? So we've got Black Moon Lilith in Aries. And so this is all about taking the lead regardless of what other people think of you. Black Moon Lilith in Aries is just a vibe of either you may have had to take the lead and take on more of the masculine responsibilities in your life. Maybe you saw your mother do that as well. And some of you may also be just burned out. You may be really taking things on, and doing things a lot yourself and not really having other people there to support you. This could be happening in the workplace. So I want to read the interpretation for all of you as well. Lead your life. When this card appears, I'm like, what am I? I'm like, what am I, Super Mario? When this card appears, I mean, it is red. When this card appears, the universe is calling for you to embrace your desires, set boundaries, and say no. Okay, Taurus? You may feel the need to take on the world by yourself, rejecting support from others or fear of appearing weak. This can leave you feeling depleted. The lesson here is that you can both lead others and rely on them for support. The first step is to change your belief around independence. Aries is the masculine first sign of the zodiac, ruling over the self-identity and personality. Symbolized by the ram, it's an energetic fire sign that prefers to blaze its own trail. When Black Moon Lilith is here, you can feel forced into the role of having to do everything on your own, or your desire and natural tendency towards independence can trigger others. And a famous Black Moon Lilith in Aries was singer Billie Holiday. She had a absent father and a single mother. So she saw the feminine taking everything on herself. And I'm fairly certain she felt like she couldn't rely on the masculine in her life. So this can represent inherited patterns of self-reliance and fear of support from others. So this is time where you are all going to have to really cut the cord with work if you are finding you're doing everything and there's no one else there to support you. Sip of water. All right, Gemini. So, Gemini, we've got creativity on deck for you this week. That's going to be a big focus. And your home is also going to be a big focus for you, and intimacy. So some of you may go through some communication resolution with family members that may have really been kind of fraught over the Mercury retrograde. Some of you may also have been revising what your home looks like, where you want to live. And now this week is go time. You're either going to resolve certain things with family, resolve certain things around the home, and to just be aware of some tension while you are doing that. And then some Gemini placements can also work on some group collaborative projects. Some new creative projects can come up for you. And then you might be dealing with some power dynamics actually in those projects. Maybe there is someone that you've been working with or working for creatively, and you're realizing that y'all are not balanced, or you might see things a certain way and the other person might see things another way as well too. So time to also get intimate. I mentioned intimacy is a big part of this week, but I think this is more in the sense of some of you might be signing like a mortgage with someone. Some of you may be focusing on just a change in your shared resources. Maybe it's like if you're married or you're in a serious partnership and you have to split rent or you pay rent and all of that stuff. Now that's going to be going through some changes this week as well. So intimacy is not just sex, it's also what we share when we are in intimate relationships. So for some of you Geminis, that's going to be a thing. So we've got dissolution. So this is a step in alchemy that involves clearing the shadow through your emotions. And you're quite a cerebral sign, Gemini. But this week, I think a lot of you are really going to be focused on clearing just certain ways of being through your emotional body. So let's read the interp. All right. After the ego has burned to ashes, you are left with raw, real, and challenging emotions around what has occurred. This is like the feeling you have after your heart has been shattered into a million pieces by needing to say goodbye to someone who isn't healthy in your life, or the feeling of fear around money and taking care of yourself after you've left that cushy yet miserable job in favor of pursuing your passion. The universe is requiring you to sit with the angst and unpredictability when you pull this card in your reading. Processing, purging, and working with your emotions is extremely important during your alchemical journey. When the dissolution card shows up in an oracle reading, it's signaling a time for you to cleanse and wash away emotions that have been preventing you from shining your light out into the world. Your frequency and vibration consists of your thoughts, feelings, which emanate from your physical body and create the world around you. And when we release limiting emotions like fear, self doubt, and unworthiness, our magnetism and vibratory manifestation power increases. This is the second phase in alchemy, involving the element water and associated with Jupiter, the planet of spiritual growth. In this stage, there is an emotional cleansing of limitations, trauma, outdated patterns, and belief systems. This step cleanses away the ashes that were created from calcination. While this can feel uncomfortable, it is necessary for you to pull back the societal mask and reveal your true self. All right, Gemini. All right, Cancer. Cancer. Home is on deck for you. Communication, writing, and also your relationships. So some of you Cancers might quite literally be moving or reassessing your home, where you live, what it looks like. Some of you might be breaking up with someone or something completely changing in your home situation. Maybe you move in with someone or you realize someone you're living with, it's just not working. But this is because that square between Mars and Pluto, between your fourth house and your seventh house, relationships and the home. And some of you may also be entering into new contracts, maybe a new contract around your home, maybe a new rental agreement or a mortgage. And some of you may be entering into a new contract around your work and what you do. That's also seventh house vibes as well too. Some of you may also, if you work in writing or marketing or communication, you also may start to experience the delays. We've got Virgo there. We've had a lot going on. I know I went through, I'm a Cancer rising. I went through the craziness in my marketing before launching this book during Mercury retrograde. I had to cancel my New York event. Well, not cancel, postpone. But some of you might be going through or went through some of those things recently, and now those things are going to start to resolve themselves. So you may be focused more on your marketing, writing. Third house also is ruled over siblings. So if any of you have been having some conflict with siblings, that will start to resolve itself this week. And yeah, so this week you just want to go through the week with grace and open-mindedness when it comes to your relationships, because this is a big week for that for you. So let's get into the cards, Cancer. Oh, wow. So I pulled this as well, Cancer, for Aries. So some of you, this is Black Moon Lilith and Libra. Some of you may have Aries placements, but just to sum up, I won't read the interpretation again, but just to sum up, it's not only about the other person in the relationship, but it's also about you. So it's best to look in the mirror, look at what it is that you truly want out of a relationship. What do you want in balance with someone else? And to make decisions based on that and to be real and not also allow someone to just put you on a pedestal only to knock you down when you don't live up to their expectations. So that's the tea for you this week. All right, Leo, on deck for you this week, you've got writing, communication. You also have work as another big focus, and then money. So some of you may be going through a new creative project coming up. Some of you are going to be really focused on your daily work and what you do, especially if you work in marketing, creativity, communications, and you're going to be really changing that vibe. You're really going to be changing how you are presenting yourself to the world. And you are coming out of that Black Moon Lilith in Leo vibe that has been going on over the past 9 months, really causing you to rebel against what other people believe about you or the way that you shine. So now your creativity is coming into the spotlight and your voice is going to be a change this week. Maybe you might write a really controversial think piece, or the type of content that you put out this week might ruffle a little feathers, but essentially when we ruffle feathers, that's when we really make the biggest splash and the biggest change. And also balance is really essential in your work relationships. Some of you might have just some discrepancies with colleagues, and some of you may even change your work environment and what that looks like. And then money, as I mentioned, Virgo is your second house. So you got Venus going into there towards the end of the week. Mercury is finishing up there. So some of you Virgo, some of you Leo risings, especially, you're going to start to experience some positive breakthroughs around your finances, but it's going to require for you to look at the details. I think a lot of you may have been looking at your balance, your accounting, and really making the changes necessary. And now you are going to see the fruits of your labor. So we pulled Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet of abundance, luck, prosperity, and growth. So now you're really coming out of a period where you were feeling stagnant, Leo, and stepping more into growth. So I'm going to read this to you all. Right. So Jupiter. It is a positive sign from the universe when the Jupiter card shows up in a reading. Jupiter is the fifth planet from the sun and the largest in the solar system. It, just like its physical size, it manifests growth and expansion as it moves and speaks with the planets in your chart. Jupiter is here to light your way towards progress. You can also feel the urge to delve into your spiritual and shadow work practice or have the opportunity to teach others. Jupiter represents knowledge and the higher perspective you gain from spiritual ascension. When this card appears, expect new people, places, and experiences to come into your life and elevate your consciousness. Travel can also be incredibly healing for you at this time. In ancient Roman mythology, Jupiter was the king of the gods, known as Zeus in Greece. He controlled the sky, thunder, and weather. Jupiter rules over the optimistic fire sign of Sagittarius and the intuitive water sign of Pisces, with each representing one of the planet's two sides. Sagittarius invokes the lucky, expansive half, while Pisces invokes the spiritual, intuitive, and imaginative side. So it's time to get creative, imaginative, and keep a lookout for some positive growth after just a period of feeling a bit of stagnancy. All right, Virgo, this is a big week for you because you've had Mercury retrograde in your sign. Mercury is your planetary ruler, and now you are coming out of the other side of that. So yourself and who you are is going to be a big focus for you this week. And towards the end of the week, especially with Venus moving into your sign, you are going to start to experience some luck, some breakthroughs, some positivity. So that's definitely some great news. Your fifth house, which is Capricorn, is also going to be on deck. This is creativity, special projects, and then money. You've got Libra in your second house. That is also going to be a big theme. So there might be some matters around finances that could be a little challenging. Like I think some of you may have some arguments or some renegotiation with a client. But I think this week, a lot of you are really going to be reclaiming your worth, which isn't always that comfortable to do. And some of you may also be facing some changes creatively. So there may be some new projects that come up that might seem out of the realm of what you typically work on. And you're really going to have to put a lot of energy into it. But this is going to be a nice change around finances for you this week, Virgo. And also, you're going to feel the dust clear around Mercury retrograde. A lot of the conflict and challenges you experience are going to resolve themselves. And we've got the nodes of the moon. I love this card. It's a beautiful card. The nodes of the moon: release, clear, and align. I'll read this one to all of you. Prepare yourself. Life changes are coming. When the nodes of the moon appears, direction and shifts are headed your way. You're releasing limiting habits, old behaviors, and situations that have blocked your progress. Talents, ideas, and new opportunities will soon emerge, creating pleasure in your life. Okay? Venus moving into your sign, okay? Literally. While change can bring discomfort, it's important to surrender. You are moving towards a more fulfilling direction that will light up your soul, connecting you with Source. It's time for you to awaken the truth of who you are and align with your higher self. The north and south nodes of the moon are also called the lunar nodes, and they are extremely important points in astrology. The lunar nodes are not planets. They're where the moon crosses path, the sun's ecliptic. As a result, they are always 180 degrees or opposite from one another. So for example, the Aries north node will always have a Libra south node. You also can't have transformative solar and lunar eclipses without the north and south nodes of the moon. In Vedic astrology, they're called Rahu and Ketu. A demon snake in Hindu mythology. The north and south nodes represent our karmic life direction. And the south node indicates what talents you've mastered in a past life, your natural strengths and comfort zone. The north node is your soul's direction and the talents you must develop in this lifetime. So literally the nodes actually are, let's see. This is like making me want to take a look at where you guys have the nodes. Pulling up your sun sign chart. So you all have the nodes actually in your 8th house. So this is shared resources and intimacy. So I think a lot of you are reclaiming your self-worth, especially when it comes to your money. This is money house. I said money is going to be a big theme for you this week, but you're reclaiming your financial sovereignty and making some decisions, but that's ultimately going to be positive for all of you. So even though it might feel a little bit uncomfortable, it's gonna be a good change for you. All right, Libra. So your first house, yourself, it's your season. You as a zodiac sign are on deck this week. This is actually one of the most powerful months of the year for you with your sun, and then we've got the eclipse in your zodiac sign in mid-month. Your home. And then also hidden enemies is another theme for you. And some of you might want to be aware of some of you might be changing certain things around your home. Some of you might be dealing with just some challenges with family members. There might be some conflict around family members. Maybe you might realize a certain family member doesn't have your best interest at heart. This is where the hidden enemy thing comes out. Some of you might be dealing with those types of toxic people in the workplace also as well. So it's like in the home front and then also in the workplace front. And now the universe is really empowering you to choose yourself this week, Libra. Like, where are you allowing the scales to tip in other people's direction and not in yours? And you are feeling deflated, you know? Right. So we got Mars. Mars is actually in your zodiac sign right now. So Mars, the planet of drive, is in your sign, driving you forward. Mars is also representative of conflict. So a lot of you are going to deal with some conflict this week, and you might feel like popping off. So it's important to also tap into your balance, tap into the harmony that you naturally have, and don't allow other people to force you to buckle under the pressure. Mars is the cosmic, excuse me. Mars is the comic. That's not really Mars. I would say, like, in terms of comedy, I would say like Mercury and Gemini energy is more the comic. But Mars is the cosmic divine masculine and loves to initiate action, lead, compete, and come out on top. If you have felt stagnancy in your life, this card indicates that a breakthrough is imminent. When Mars is present, the universe is ready for you to move forward. A supportive masculine figure could also be coming into your life to assist you. It makes sense too with Mars in your zodiac sign. One caveat about Mars energy, though, the need for dominance and power struggles also comes up. So remember to practice patience. I said that. Like, time to be patient this week because you're going to have some conflict, whether it's with family members or in the workplace. In astrology, Mars is the planet of action, drive, sex, aggression, passion, physical strength, and how we get things done. In Roman mythology, Mars is the god of war, military, and agriculture. It also rules over the fire sign Aries and the water sign of Scorpio. Aries is the explosive and physical action-oriented side, while Scorpio represents the strategic and passionately reactive side. In astrology, it is considered a personal planet, meaning that it appears prominent in your outward personality. It can describe how we like to exercise, what motivates us, and how we react in anger. When you're doing something that you're passionate about, it increases your manifestation power as well, too. All right, Libra, go get them. All right, my Scorpio. My favorite, because I am one. You can tell. All right, Scorpio, a lot's on deck for you this week in terms of communication. We also have shadow work on deck. I know, lots of fun, right? And travel, spiritual teaching as well is on deck for Scorpio. So some of you may be quite literally, I'm not saying this because I'm a Scorpio and I'm publishing, but some of you might literally be publishing. That's the transit that's going on. You've got third house, ninth house really activated in your chart. Some of you, if you're not publishing, though, some of you could be teaching. Some of you could be also changing what your views are on your spirituality or what you believe. And then also some of you may be traveling as well. And maybe there might be something in tandem as well with that as too. If you work in marketing, communications, there may be some big projects coming up for you over this next week. And then it's time to do shadow work around relationships. So you got 12th house Libra, and that is all lit up with Mars, your planetary ruler. So get ready for some conflict involving your relationships. Maybe it's also just ways in which the scales are not balanced, ways in which you have not put your needs first. This is all shadow work. So this week is going to be big for that as well, too. So it's important to practice self-care. Also, some of you may find out, a close friend or colleague or someone who you trusted, they can't be. That also may be a theme for some Scorpios. So you all know how to act with that. Okay? Practice discernment. That's what the Venus in Virgo and Mercury and Virgo should be teaching. Okay? Honor your boundaries. Black Moon Lilith and Pisces card here. It says honor your boundaries. And when you have Black Moon Lilith and Pisces natally, boundaries are not, they are not something that it's challenging for them. Okay. So honor your boundaries. Escaping reality can bring pleasure, romance, and joy into your life. When this card appears, it's a reminder to come back to earth. Illusion can be a powerful vehicle, but when it keeps you stuck, it's not. I totally changed that wording around. When your dreams are tapped into the spiritual realm of your mind, and also I said spirituality for some of you, or higher learning or expanding your consciousness is going to be a theme as well too. That's Pisces energy. When your dreams are tapped in the spiritual realm of your mind, it can block them from manifesting as reality. This is also a time when you can let go of deflating patterns of self-sacrifice. No is powerful and will affirm your boundaries. You will lead a more aligned life naturally because you are choosing you. Black Moon Lilith in Pisces is the shadow of fantasy, escape, addiction, and seclusion. Also, Pisces rules over the 12th house. So this is also giving the 12th house stuff that I had mentioned as well too. The zodiac sign Pisces is a water sign linked with a dynamic and vast ocean. Symbolized by the fish, this is the final sign of the zodiac, also associated with the biblical archetype of Jesus Christ. Pisces represents the unknown, spiritual realm, and sacrifice. When Black Moon Lilith is in Pisces, there is a desire to escape reality or to have thin boundaries. And what's interesting is I wrote about in this interpretation, I mentioned notable people and their natal placements, and I actually mentioned Russell Brand within this placement. And now all of this crap is coming up. He's having Black Moon Lilith in Virgo in opposition to his Black Moon Lilith in Pisces, and he's not someone who has boundaries, obviously. And he went through a lot of stuff with his addiction, and then he went into he wrote a book about it to essentially channel that darkness into light and help other people. But now he's on, I didn't write about that because it still didn't come out then, and I can only write about facts, honey, that are in published articles. But now it's coming out that his past is coming back to haunt him, and maybe he's not doing those things now, but if he's guilty, he's basically, it's coming back. And this is all going to be the next 9 months. This is a Black Moon Lilith opposition that he's experiencing. And sorry to get into Russell Brand with you, but this is a part of the interpretation. But basically, it's like you've got to do that shadow work around your boundaries, Scorpio. And I talk a lot more about the Black Moon Lilith opposition. If you have Black Moon Lilith in Pisces as well, some of you may have that placement. I talk about how that can manifest as well too in Black Moon Lilith rising. All right, Sag. So Sag, money is going to be a major theme for you this week, your career, and also your network. So Sag, this week, something has to give involving your finances. You've had a long time with Pluto moving through your second house. I'm sure it's not been fun over the past 10 years. You're almost done. This is the last degree that you're going to be experiencing that. But now you're thinking about making changes to your finances in a positive way, changing the structure of them. Maybe you realize you've been overspending and truly not budgeting. And it's not like you need to budget in a sense. It's just being responsible with money is one of the biggest lessons with Pluto in the second house. So it's so important to be aware of that. But you're going to be making money moves, money changes this week. And also some of you may get some breakthroughs from your network and the people that you know, your friend group. Some of you may also change your network and the people you surround yourself with. Maybe there's some collaborators or your peers that are just not pulling their weight in your business. If you partner with someone and you're going to really want to change that, you're also going to want to change who you're surrounding yourself with as well too, because that also matters. You are the company you keep, honey, for real. And your career also, some of you may have been going through some challenging shit with, for lack of a better term, with Mercury retrograde in your 10th house, some delays involving your professional life. And now with Venus at the end of the week moving into your 10th house, that is really going to help you out a lot. And I love this card, exaltation. So you're going to feel more, you're going to feel more free as we get towards the end of the week, especially when it comes to your public life and how you present yourself to the public and your work and what you do. So I definitely want to read this. All right, exaltation. A little water too. So it says Master Manifestor. So exaltation is one of the last phases of alchemy. Exaltation is the feeling of joy, elation, and peace. This phrase describes the Hermetic principle of correspondence as above, so below. So as above, so as above, so below, as below, so above, as within, so without. I totally fucked that up. Sorry, guys. When you receive this card, it's a sign that you are a master alchemist. You've transmuted darkness into light and are now using the power of your life force to bend your reality to your will. To explain this state of consciousness on an esoteric level, we can look at what exaltation means in astrology. This is part of the metaphysical concept of essential dignities, which describe the condition of a planet based on the zodiac sign. So an exalted planet can express itself without limitation versus the opposite, the fall, which can hinder its strength. So right now, actually, the sun is in fall position in the area of your friends and your network. And I think a lot of you are now breaking out of feeling restricted with those people. And now you are stepping more into an empowered state with who you surround yourself with and your relationships and your finances and your money. So you're really coming out of the other side this week, Sagittarius. So step into that empowerment. All right, Cappies. So Capricorn, your career and spiritual growth and travel is going to be on deck for you. So right now, your career, some of you may be going through some career changes. Some new contracts could come in for you this week with that Mars-Pluto square. I think a lot of you may have felt a little bit of frustration during the retrogrades about what you do and your life path. And this week it might come to a head and you may be like, you know what? It's time for me to choose myself. Some of you may also be traveling as well. You've got Virgo in the 9th. And some of you may be delving more into your spiritual practice, teaching, but really expanding your consciousness through experiences. So get ready for some transformation through life experience this week as well too. Let's pull a card for y'all. Capricorn. Some story for Capricorn. Two came out for you, so I'm going to read both because, yeah, meant to be. So we've got the Black Madonna. This is the sacred dark goddess mother. And we've got Black Moon Lilith in Sagittarius, free yourself. So these are the two cards that we got here. So it's really interesting. The Black Madonna it's a revered figure, but it's also demonized because they don't even believe that she's black. Like they just think it, I don't know. There's a bunch of different reasons, and I'm actually going to get into it in the interpretation. But basically, this is like you stepping out of people kind of dimming your light and telling you that you're something that you're not. And this is going along with that career and how you show up to the public. You're kind of like, I am a manager, or I am a leader. Like, I'm not going to let you tell me that I'm otherwise. And I think also just tapping into this card as well too, you're really going to want to free yourself from those situations this week. So Black Madonna, the primordial dark mother goddess, is a powerful archetype that has been venerated in ancient cultures throughout the world. So for example, Isis, Hecate, Lilith, Kali Ma, and the Black Madonna. When the Black Madonna shows up, it's time to surrender. The dark mother of creation is always working for your highest good. And even though it might not feel like it at times, the key is to take a deep breath, release, and allow everything to fall away that is not in alignment. The Black Madonna is showing you that chaos is just another form of divine creation in the universe and an indicator of new beginnings. Feelings of doubt and patience can come up, and you may receive some support from the divine feminine or maternal figures in the form of professional, financial, or life guidance. So some of the level up you're going to experience or the need to break away may be through some help with the feminines in your life, in your work life. Accept the help you need from them. It's a gift to help you on your journey. And just to briefly briefly read it because this is more of a long interpretation. But the Black Madonna is a controversial artistic depiction of the Mother Mary. Her origins are theorized to be of African origin, perhaps based on pagan dark earth mother deities. Racism also rules the church's narrative. European clergy would whitewash her image and paint and explain that the candle soot or age caused her skin to turn dark. Anyway, let's move on to Black Moon Lilith and Sagittarius. So this is all about liberation and freeing yourself from the bondage of other people. So it's time to step into your freedom. Your drive to be a free spirit can feel strong right now. You can see the bigger picture and make decisions from an informed space. You may be breaking ties with someone or something that no longer serves you. Sagittarius is a mutable fire sign representing beliefs, wisdom, optimism, growth, and expansion through experience. So that's kind of what I was saying. Some of you may be expanding through travel, through spiritual growth, through experience, through teaching. That's going to be a big focus for some of you this week. Symbolized by the archer, it's ruled by Jupiter and linked with the higher self. Your true self sans programming weighing you down. So now you are really liberating yourself from not feeling free in work, in your career, how you show up. And travel sometimes can give us the perspective we need to break away from those situations that are just no longer in alignment. All right, Aquarius. Travel is on the horizon for some of you Aquarians, but some of you may be traveling back to your hometown or where you grew up. Some of you may be moving around locally. So you might move to a different house or apartment that's close by, not too far away. And this is also, some of you may be living far away and kind of miss where you grew up or more of your local surroundings and start to seek a change in that area of life. Also, your subconscious is going to be really highlighted this week with had Pluto since 2008 in that area of your life, bringing up just ancestral trauma and subconscious challenges. And then Virgo, you've got your 8th house there, shared resources, and maybe you've had some arguments or challenges with a marriage partner or a life partner who you share finances with. This is also the house of intimacy. So now this week, you're going to experience some breakthroughs and positivity and luck towards the end of the week as Venus moves into that area of your life. But that has been a big focus for you. So now it's like you're really kind of changing clearing out the cobwebs of your mind and ways in which you not valued yourself. And now this week is really prompting you to clean up your resources, clean up your finances. All right, we've got Pluto, like I said. Pluto in your 12th, clearing up the mental cobwebs so that you can expand and step into your true self. Endings and regeneration. Let's read the interpretation. All right. Misalignment can manifest physically as that uneasy feeling in the pit of your stomach. Pluto can sense this and likes to break everything down and remove what no longer serves you. It teaches us that beginnings and endings are intrinsically tied together. It is the natural cycle of life. Hidden wealth, inheritances, and debts are also a part of Pluto, indicating change in this area of life. And you've got that eighth house stuff going on as well too. So some of you might be dealing with inheritances or debts, loans, those type of really serious financial conversations. Allow for this transformative wave to pass over you. It will wash away the shadows that have held you back from activating your light. In the ancient Greco-Roman mythology, Pluto was the lord of the underworld and hidden wealth, also known as Hades in Greece. He presided over Earth's lower realms and the rich gems, minerals, and metals found in the ground. Pluto is the planetary ruler of the fixed water sign Scorpio, and Scorpio rules alchemy, sex, death, rebirth, psychology, the occult, secrets, and transformation. So this is a big moment for you of transformation in the realm of your finances, in your financial life. Another thing as well too, some of you might be seeing some resolution in lawsuits. That's ninth house as well too, or dealing with just some legality things, maybe dealing with, I don't know if you guys have been dealing with divorce as well too, but that will all start to resolve itself as we get towards the end of the week. All right, Pisces, your relationships are about to experience a positive upswing. You've got also your eighth house of intimacy on deck this week, and then also your peers and your network are also going to be a big focus for you. So the reason why I say with your relationships, they're going to improve is Mercury retrograde is now over. That was in your seventh house. So that could have brought back exes from the past. It could have brought back past themes, ways in which you've been not honoring yourself and what you need in a relationship. There could have been some arguments and some just tension. Now, Venus moving into that area of your life at the end of the week is going to bring some resolution. And also with the eighth house, you've had Mars there, you got the South Node, you have the Libra Sun. There could be just some arguments over shared resources if you are in a relationship that's serious enough, like if you're married or you live together, to conjoin resources. So that is also going to be a big theme for you as well. And some of you may be cleaning house when it comes to your network and basically who you surround yourself with and your peers. I think some of you may have some power struggles around those people and really clear house and make sure you're receiving what you're giving. Some of you may also have just some arguments online with people, or you may realize that you might put out something creatively and may get a little bit of a backlash from it, from the collective. So this week is really going to be about choosing yourself. And we pulled Queen Jezebel. So I think this is really interesting because Jezebel is it's just a problematic deity. Like she gets such a bad rap, and this is why I put her in the deck. And she was basically, let me read the interpretation actually for you guys. It's gonna really make a lot of sense with the week ahead, but the demonization is a big theme. Right. Magnetic Royal Witch. Queen Jezebel wants you to Queen Jezebel wants to show you how to stand in your divinity. When this card shows up, you may face opposition and conflict around who you are. Betrayal from others can sting the soul, but you are finally able to see yourself. You have the magical power to command and create your reality. Take time to practice beauty or grooming rituals, upgrade your wardrobe, and allow yourself to feel good. This is very Libra energy, and you've got Libra right now in the area of your in your eighth house of intimacy. So We can look to a plethora of ancient cultures that adorn themselves with makeup, headpiece, jewels, and perfumes as an example of this aesthetic magic. Jezebel energy, quote unquote, has been demonized because it represents witchy feminine power, your magic presence, and magnetism. Like the ancient wild goddess Lilith, Jezebel's story is tragic and steeped in allegory. This is a biblical story. Jezebel was a pagan Phoenician queen in the 9th century BC who was featured in the Bible, and her existence has been proven through anthropological research. She was a foreign princess who was then married and became the consort to the king of Israel, Ahab. In Jezebel's time, Phoenician women enjoyed more freedom and were considered equal to men. As such, she was able to practice ritual magic and worship pagan deities like Asherah and Baal. However, because of this, her new kingdom considered her evil. Her life ended in an extremely tragic way because of her unwillingness to accept the kingdom's one god, and male god at that. I just added that in there. Not only was her king killed, but she was thrown out of a window and trampled by horses. Terrible way to die. And then eaten by dogs. So fast forward to modern day days, Jezebel is a colloquial term associated with immoral women, harlotry, seduction, disobedience, and sin. The name serves to promote the unjust suppression of women, witchcraft, and paganism. The key to tapping into the energy of Queen Jezebel is to not be afraid of your witchy essence, charm, and beauty. So some of you might, Pisces is very intuitive sign. Some of you might be really into the mystical arts as well and be receiving just maybe your family is religious or it's demonized in your culture. Tap into it. Tap in, screw other people. That's what I say. It's about you and your beliefs and what empowers you in your life at the end of the day, Pisces. All right, everyone. This has been really awesome. And I can't wait to be properly live again next week. I should be back in my studio and on and recording. But until then, I hope you all have a fabulous week, and I will see you on the next live stream. Bye.